This is the FiiO FT3, I believe it's called. I don't. I haven't really thought of FiiO as like a headphone manufacturer, but they make like a ton of IEMs. Only a couple over ears, so that's probably why I'm not super familiar. Like I said, there's the FT3, there's the FT5, which is, I guess, the big brother, and then there's the JT1, which is their, like, other spin-off brand, Jade Audio. Anyway, just not really a headphone brand I'm super familiar with, but that's fun. These things are pretty high impedance, 350 ohm. They're pretty high sensitivity, 102 dB. This is like a big dynamic driver headphone, 60 millimeters. Removable pads, swappable pads. Comes with an extra set of pads. We'll talk about that in a minute. Comfort's good. The build's like very solid. I mean, for a $300 headphone, like all the materials feel really good. The finishes are good. The headband is very comfortable. All the like faux suedes, faux leathers, everything's, I mean, honestly, very, very nice for the price point. Like I said, you get a lot of stuff. They put a lot of stuff in the box. All right, here's your like beautiful case that you could, go to the high street with and then listen to music by yourself. I don't know what you do with this, but good on them for providing it. I do kind of like this little, like, SWAT team accessory pack of all your different adapter swizzles. This had the cable on the other side. I couldn't get it to go back in there nicely, so that's that. You get a lovely, look at this bag. You could just, it's very, anyway, lots of stuff. A lot of stuff in the box. Here are the other pads. This is like the faux cowhide to the faux suede of the other ones. All faux, but nicely done. Really nicely done. Oh yeah, the cable. Here's the cable. The cable is, I don't know how long it is. Might be 8 foot. It's a thing. It's very nice. We'll never get that focus. We'll never get the focus. Just pretend that this is in focus. See? Look how nice this cable is. You can really get a feel for it right there. No. Yes. No. Yeah. No. Yes. Edit this part out. Don't edit this part out. That's the best part. Okay. Holy crap. Yeah, very nice cable. Very, very fluid. Very comfortable to deal with. Also sounds fantastic. Oh, hey, look at this. Oh, yeah. It's no focus tonight. No. Nope. No! All right, I give up. Anyway, very nice cable. 3.5 millimeter connectors. It's my fave. All right, sound. How's it sound? I would say the sound stage is not like massive in my mind. The mids are relatively direct. They're relatively sort of intimate. The bass feels a bit more expansive. You get some hints of the room occasionally while you're listening. You do get like a little bit of sense of space while you're listening to this. It's got a pretty good slap. It's like it's got some smack to it. Some bits feel softer or a little underdefined, but then other bits feel very tight and punchy. So it's a little hard to pin down in that regard. But the energy can be really fun. It can be a really fun listen. For me, the upper treble region is a bit overemphasized. That's often my complaint. That might be my taste. Grain of salt there. It's not like Simblant, but cymbal splashes are just like too pronounced. They rise up too much in the mix. It's just like they call too much attention to themselves. To a certain degree, you get a bit of that like sort of paper tonality, which can be very rewarding because it like makes it feel very transparent, very revealing. But in other cases, it can feel a bit like too much. And the treble can be like a little bit peaky again for my taste. Um, Notes don't necessarily have a ton of flesh on the bone or feel like overly filled out or overly three-dimensional, but the crispy bits can be very good, very tactile. The mids, have like a smoothness to them, which is like fantastic for all day listening. Like, this is a headphone like I put on, I don't get fatigued, I listen to it for hours on end while working and whatnot, and it never says like, make it stop. I wouldn't say that it's like incredibly extended. Like, the decay falls off pretty quickly, and it doesn't necessarily like scale to like really massive like orchestral stuff, like big soundtrack stuff. Like, I think I was listening to the more recent Dune soundtrack, and it just wasn't really like doing it that epic justice. Pad swapping, I it's just completely different headphones. Like, so very cool that you get that opportunity direct from the manufacturer to have like two wildly different tunings. With the leathers here, like, the bass falls off pretty significantly. It gets like a lot more sharp and articulate, gets crisper, more angular. That might be to some people's taste, definitely not to mine. I genuinely preferred the suede pads. I like, not even a question for me. But again, so happy that they include it so you can listen and make up your own mind. It's a pretty communicative headphone. Like a lot of headphones in this price class, you go amp to amp and you're like, it's the same headphone. This amp is actually pretty revealing about what its source was, what the DAC was, what the amp was. I tried it with a bunch of different combinations, and I think, at that $300 price point, I don't expect it to be that revealing, but it actually was pretty communicative of like, oh, you're listening to a tube amp, you're listening to solid state, you're listening to a crisp amp, you're listening to a warm amp. So that was kind of a welcome surprise. They claim that the cable is, high quality copper, but like typically with a lot of headphones in this price point, and they're like, oh my gosh, nothing focuses today. Ah, it's like actually trying not to focus. Why are you so mad at me? There we go. Typically with a lot of headphones in this price point, I find that the cable just gets forgotten, and it's just priced optimized. And if you do throw a nicer cable at it, you'll be rewarded. Not the case here. I think this cable sounds good. I put much more expensive cables on this headphone, and I do not think it benefited it. In some cases, I think it hurt it. It made it a little more sort of sharp and edgy. So, yeah, that's cool. Overall, like, this headphone sort of reminds me of boomboxes I had in the 90s. Yes, I'm sorry, I'm old. Where, like, is it the most articulate, the most audiophile? No. But is it just fun to listen to? Is it satisfying to listen to? Can you kind of listen to it, for hours and hours? Yes, absolutely. And are you like missing out on a ton of detail or like a ton of specificity in the presentation? I don't think so. Swapping between this and other like similarly, actually slightly more expensively priced dynamic headphones that I had on hand, yeah, they sort of crisped things up. They brought a little more detail, a little micro detail to the table. But in some cases, they also like dumb down the fun. So that's not great either. I, I don't know. I'm left a little bit ambiguous to this headphone. I think it's a very nice value proposition for the dollars, for the build quality, for the overall listening experience, for the accessories. I can't really fault it. I've been spending way too much time very much upmarket from this, so like it is a little bit of a brain twist to kind of like come down to what you get for these dollars. But I feel like the value proposition's pretty darn good for this headphone, if the things I've said about it make sense to you as a listener. So Oh, terrible ending to the video. Big clearing of the throat. Apologies. But let's call it good there. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Signcraft signing out. Let's cut that audio one more time. Maybe I just put this on top of the other cut. So yeah.